What is up YouTube, Bloody Knight here. I hope you are having a fantastic day, afternoon or evening whenever you are actually watching this. So, the Ghost Recon Breakpoint Closed Beta happened this past weekend and I was lucky enough to get a code to hop in and get a small taste of the game. As with all alpha or beta builds of a game, it's important to know that it's not necessarily a representation of the final product. With that said, let's jump right in. The beta opens up with a cinematic introducing a company by the name of Skull Technology, and the various inventions and innovations they've come to develop. It isn't long before there's some static interference and the screen cuts to black. A cargo ship has mysteriously sunk very close to the Skulltech headquarters, and no success in contacting Skulltech results in the commencement of Operation Greenstone. As the leader of the Ghosts, your mission is to restore comms. Next thing that happens is that you're thrown into the character creation screen. It's pretty basic in execution and has the standard options to select, such as your gender, face, eye color, hair, facial features, that whole deal. There aren't any advanced options like sliders for adjusting proportions or facial features, so don't expect to spend hours in the screen to perfect an image of a ghost leader that looks just like you. Finishing up here sends you into yet another cinematic showing your chopper crash landing and your character surviving. Walking away from a crash is no joke, so it's to no one's surprise that your character is a bit busted up, and the first thing to do is to patch up, since thankfully the injury seems to be a bit minor. I like that there's a bit of a healing element and it adds to a bit of survival to the mix. I'd like for my character to maybe limp a little more after performing first aid though, maybe just 100 meters or so instead of being perfectly fine after bandaging up his leg, because that's what a normal human would do. Shooting can be done in either first or third person, and transitioning between the two is pretty smooth. The mechanics itself are also pretty nice and feel quite responsive as you tap the trigger button to hammer shots into enemies. I just wish the movement was as smooth since it was kinda buggy. Your character will walk differently depending on the landscape, walk uphill and they'll lean into it to keep their balance, and walk through water and they'll wade. The only issue is that sometimes the game forgets that you're on level ground and you'll wade through nothing. I also had an instance where I performed a stealth takedown on an enemy and he ended up at a higher position vertically than what I was. What I absolutely love about the stealth though is the ability to go prone and then use mud and dirt to cover my body for camouflage. It's such a cool feature and adds a nice new dynamic in the gameplay, and it's something I will be doing over and over when the full game releases. Surviving what the game throws at you seems to be a little easy though. I ran through a big chunk of the map without any real issue, even when I was forced to go loud. In fact, enemies struggled a bit to take down my health even by 1 bar, and there are 3 bars in total at this point of the game. Sure, I died a few times, but this was mostly because I was being careless. And not only that, but when going loud, sometimes enemies can't even hear the firefight, even when they're not even that far away from where the fight's going on. It's a bit odd. I'm guessing that because this was a beta, we got a tiny sliver of story compared to what will be in the full game, and it was kinda skimpy too. I think I saw John Bernthal's character once or twice, and when he showed up his presence felt so shallow and his actions held very little weight. I'm hoping that he's going to be a deeper and more fleshed out character come release. I don't know, it failed to grab me, even the world feels a bit bland. I can definitely see myself playing this with a friend as we pull off synchronized kills, but I'm not sure if I'd go solo for the entire experience. The famous Ghost Recon weapon customization is back and it's still pretty great, plus there are different classes available so you can decide which perks you'd like and what role you'll play in your squad. Plus, despite it being a bit of a buggy mess, the game looks great. So overall, the Breakpoint Closed Beta was alright. My feeling is that the beta is a tiny taste of what's to come. There seems to be a range of different issues, but I think it's likely that this will be either fixed by the time the open beta drops or by the time the game releases. As I mentioned before, this isn't a final representation of the final game, and more importantly, we don't actually know at what point of the development cycle this build was created, so it's best to keep an open mind. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, please hit that like button, and if you are new, please hit the subscribe button. And if you played the Ghost Recon Breakpoint Beta, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. Are you excited about it? Wary? Have you pre-ordered? Let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.